Welcome back to episode 5 of the Stealth Camper Build. This episode is sponsored by GOPOWER and today we're going to be installing our 800 watt solar panel kit. This kit includes 4 200 watt panels, 2 30 amp MPPTs, which is your solar charge controller, a DC isolator, 80 amp breaker, and your full wiring kit. It also comes with a screen that you can easily monitor your solar intake. Once we get the panels fully mounted on the outside and the power ran to the inside, we'll then connect the isolator as well as the 2 30 amp MPPTs to the Victron Link distributor, and then that will share all the power to the multi-plus, to the battery bank, and we're going to be in good conditions there. So with 800 watts of solar, we're going to be roughly getting 38.4 amps of power going into our battery bank. Granted, this greatly depends upon your environment and the solar conditions. So at the top end, we're expecting 38-ish amps. That may vary on the location. So like right now, the trailer is in the shade, we're not going to get that. But if you're in bright sun, you'll be pumping in plenty of power into the bank. And we're in Central Florida, so given our geographical location, we're always getting great sun. And the reasoning behind having such a massive solar array is we have 3 277 amp hour lithium batteries, which makes for 831 amp hours of usable power. With this, we also have a Dometic RTX 2000 AC. That AC can pull on the low end 19 amps all the way up to 59 amps. So even with a massive battery bank, that's not enough to be fully off grid. So the solar panels are a vital piece of this whole equation of having enough power to keep the AC and all the other appliances going. Okay, so since we're starting to lose light, we're just going to hop right into putting the mounting feet onto the panels and hopefully get up top right after that to at least get them mounted before we lose light. And then we'll continue this tomorrow on day 2 of episode 5. Things for, we have to mount the feet of the panels attached them to the roof. So each panel will come with 4 mounting brackets and the necessary hardware. So what I did, since I'm doing this on the driveway, I kept the boxes that the panels came in, I'm going to flip them over and then attach there. Biggest thing, you want to be very cautious of being gentle with the panels because you don't want to break them. That's the last thing you want. We're hitting crunch time. Losing light quickly. And again, be very careful with these panels. Insane. Gotta get a handy dandy ladder. Ooh, that's close. Thankfully, they're pretty lightweight panels. take this guy away. No, number 2. Okay, now to do panel number 2. And they said overhead squatting will never pay off. Joke's on them. Progress being made. It's starting to get to a time crunch, but we got all 4 panels up on top of the roof. And now we're gonna use a little power grab, Loctite on it, and then we're gonna screw it down. And we're gonna try to see if we can get that all finished before we run out of light. We got all 4 panels mounted, now it's time to wire them. We're gonna be running 2 200-watt panels to one 30-amp controller, and then the other 2 to another 30-amp controller. So to wire them together, you're gonna put them in series. You're gonna be connecting one panel positive to the other panel negative, and then you're gonna have the one negative from this side, the one positive from this side, going into the weatherproof housing. And this is 25 feet of cabling. So you have your weatherproof housing up top. You drill a hole in the roof, and then you can run your wires or knife on the inside to the main system. So we're gonna hop on into it and begin. Depending upon how many panels you're running in your configuration, make sure you look at the wiring diagram, because it's very easy to mess up how you wire them together. So just double check that before you start. The goal is to mount it this way. And the next step is drilling a hole. No going back now. It was funny, when I first did my camper conversion to my truck, I was super skeptical of drilling and cutting holes in the roof of the camper top. Now I've done it so many times, it doesn't even bother me. And I'm taking this little piece of tape and putting it around the edges just so the wires don't get nicked. Now that you have your hole made, all you gotta do is drop the wire in. Yeah, it's 25 feet of wire, so yeah, quite a bit. If you're doing a stealth camper conversion like this, it's definitely nice doing it from scratch, because if you're doing a solo install on like a fifth wheel or a big tow behind, you have way more you have to contend with. This is pretty much drop in and play. So I'm gonna go down, get some caulking, get some self-tapping screws, come up, seal it up, and we're done. So as you can see, we got 2 panels here that are wired together. And then we have 2 panels up there that are gonna be wired together. Then we got space for the AC there. The light blasters are gonna go over there, and then maybe one here. And then this is where the slant blaster is gonna go. So, trying to maximize as much roof space we have as possible. So, the next step is wiring it all together down below. So, it's another day of the solar build, and we already got 2 panels in the back all wired together and pre-wired to the inside. Now we're going to wire together the front 2 panels and do the same thing. Once again, these are 200 watt panels, and we're going to begin by hooking one negative to one positive together. And then on each panel you have your negative and your positive. This is going to go to the waterproof roof connectors, which then you're going to have your negative and positive going to run down into the inside. So first we got to drill a hole for this. So I'm going to go for it. Now that we got our hole drilled, I'm going to put a little tape on the edges to protect from the metal. You don't really need to do this, but this is a extra safety precaution. Okay. So now that you have both of your cables, you're going to put it through the hole, and these cables are running directly to your charge controller. Got the positive ran, now it's got to do the negative. Now that you have the weatherproof sealed place, you connect the negative to that end, and then the positive to this end. So now you're ready to use some caulking to make it weather resistant, and then these screws. So now we're completely finished up top, and all we gotta do is hook them up to the charge controllers on the inside, and then we're gonna have 800 watts solar and be pumping out juice. So we're ready to go.